welcome to another episode of the Hardline Curling Show. This week on the show, the final two qualifiers for the Montana's Brier have secured their spots. The Scotties Tournament of Hearts begins as we look at the second half of the draw and chat with one of the skips chasing the coveted title. Plus, Canada's top under-18 teams hit the ice in Saskatoon, and mixed doubles teams in the United States get set for their Olympic trials. Championship season is in full swing, so let's get started. And then there were 18. The field is now set for the Montana's Brier after the last two open spots were filled last week by a pair of teams that are no strangers to the national stage. Let's start in Manitoba, where the 100th edition of the Provincial Men's Championship featured a rematch of last year's final with the same result as Team Reed Carruthers knocked off Team Braden Calvert 9-7 to punch its Brier ticket. That spoiled what had been an undefeated run by Team Calvert, who will have to wait at least another year for their first shot at a national championship. Carruthers, meanwhile, is now set to make his 13th Brier appearance and 5th as a skip. It will also be his 8th consecutive appearance. His lone Brier title came back in 2011 when he was the second for Jeff Stoughton's team. The final qualifier for the national championship also knows a thing or two about winning it, make it a thing or four. Kevin Cooey earning a shot at his 5th Brier title by defeating Evan Van Amsterdam 9-7 to capture the Alberta Men's Championship. The veteran skip, who will also be making his 13th appearance, last claimed the national crown in 2019 in Brandon, but he's been the runner-up twice since then. Cooey brought some reinforcements on board early this season with the addition of last year's Alberta champion, Aaron Sluchinski at third, so we have a couple of familiar names, rounding out another impressive Brier field full of legitimate contenders. The tournament opens February 28th at Prospera Place in Kelowna, BC. But we don't have to wait until then for some national championship curling. The Scotties Tournament of Hearts kicking off this weekend at Fort William Gardens in Thunder Bay, Ontario, as 18 of Canada's top women's teams compete for the title. Last week, we introduced you to the teams in Pool A. Now let's take a closer look at the other half of the draw. At first glance, Pool B may appear to be the easier group just for the simple fact that it does not include the top seed in Rachel Homan and Team Canada. But make no mistake, there are plenty of other tough teams to contend with. Headlining the list is the number 2 ranked team in the country, led by Carrie Einerson, who saw her quest for a record 5 straight Scotties titles fall short at last year's tournament. For the first time since 2020, the Gimli Curling Club rink will not be wearing Canadian colors at the national championship, but nor will they be sporting the Manitoba yellow. Team Einerson is one of 3 direct entries that got to skip the provincial qualifiers based on their Canadian team ranking from last year, which they've maintained this season thanks in part to victories at the Grand Slam of Curling Hearing Life Tour Challenge and the Seville Grand Prix. Third Val Sweeting and lead Kristen Karwacki are back with Einerson, along with newcomer Carly Burgess in at third for Shannon Burchard, who is sitting out this season due to a knee injury. The team's alternate is Lauren Lenentine. Staying in Manitoba for our second direct entry team in Pool B, skipped by another player with a Scotties title on her resume, Caitlin Laws, the longtime third for Jennifer Jones, with whom she won the tournament in 2015, is now in her 3rd season skipping her own team, and she's led that team to the national championship all 3 years, missing the playoffs as a wildcard team in 2023 and reaching the 3-4 page qualifier as Team Manitoba last year. Laws is joined by third Selena Negevin, second Jocelyn Peterman, and lead Kristen Gordon. The team's alternate is Becca Hebert. And as fate would have it, just based on how the teams are seeded this year, Manitoba's official Scotties representative is also in Pool B as Kate Cameron will look to build on a bronze medal performance at last year's tournament, her first as a skip. She has played in 6 others as a third, twice coming out of Manitoba and 4 times representing Alberta. This year's team includes vice skip Taylor McDonald at third, Brianna Cullen at second, and Mackenzie Elias at lead. Believe it or not, there are some teams in Pool B, though, competing from other provinces, beginning with Christina Black's rink from the Halifax Curling Club in Nova Scotia. The 4th-ranked team in Canada has won 4 cash spiels this season, plus the Grand Slam Hearing Life Tour Challenge Tier 2 title. Black is making her 6th career Scotties appearance and 3rd as a skip, the most recent 2 years ago when she finished 4th. Team Black features Jill Brothers at third, Jen Baxter at second, Carly Everest at lead, and the alternate is Marley Powers. Next up is Team Ontario, skipped by Danielle Inglis, who joined us last week here on the Hardline Curling Show. Inglis is playing in her 4th Scotties and 2nd as a skip after posting a 3-5 record at last year's tournament. She served as an alternate and coach for Holly Duncan's team in 2018 and also filled in as an alternate for Team Homan in 2021. Inglis's team, which curls out of the Ottawa Hunt and Golf Club, includes vice skip and third Ciara Brunton, second Calissa Daly, lead Cassandra de Groot, and alternate Kimberly Tuck. Moving one province to the east, we have Team Quebec, once again led by Laurie St-Georges, who is making her 5th straight appearance at the National Championship. St-Georges is still looking to break through to the top tier of the tournament with a pair of 7th place finishes, standing as her best results to date. And she's added some championship pedigree to the lineup this year, with 3-time Scotties winner Lisa Weigel joining the squad at lead. The team also includes Jamie Sinclair at 3rd and Emily Riley at 2nd. We'll have more on Quebec shortly, as Laurie St-Georges will be joining us in a couple of minutes. But in the meantime, our team previews head north, where we find one of the most experienced skips of all time, Carrie Galusha, who is once again representing the Northwest Territories. This is Galusha's 22nd career appearance at the tournament, and she comes in sitting 6th all-time in Scotties games played with 165, one behind longtime Team Jennifer Jones lead Jill Officer. She hasn't missed the national championship since 2014, but this year she's got an almost entirely new team featuring 3rd Megan Kohler, 2nd Sydney Galusha, lead Shauna Barbour, while the alternate is Ella Skagg. Meanwhile, staying in the territories, Bailey Scoffin is set to lead Team Yukon for the 2nd year in a row after making her Scotties debut in 2024 in Calgary, where she went 1-7, earning her first career Scotties win against New Brunswick. The sister of Yukon's Brier skip, Thomas Scoffin, will be looking to build on that experience in Thunder Bay. The rest of the team is similar to last year, with the exception of a new lead in Bailey Horvey, while Raylan Helston and Carrie Foster have swapped positions, with Helston now at 3rd and Foster at 2nd. Last year's lead, Kimberly Tour, remains the alternate. And finally, representing Newfoundland and Labrador is the only rookie skip in Pool B, Brooke Godsland, who broke through for her first provincial title in 6 tries this year. Godsland does have some Scotties experience on her squad, however, with 3rd Aaron Porter and lead Camille Burt having played in 7 combined national championships. The team also includes Sarah McNeil-Lambswood at 2nd and Kate Patterson as the alternate. And that rounds out the field of 18, an impressive accomplishment just to get there. Now all that's left to do is play. And as mentioned a few moments ago, we're now pleased to be joined by one of the women's teams who will be competing for this year's Scotties title. Laurie St-Georges is becoming a fixture at the National Championship, making her 5th straight appearance this year as the skip for Team Quebec. Laurie, thanks for joining the show tonight.
Hi, my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
I appreciate it. This has sort of become an annual tradition for you. Is year 5 just as exciting as year 1 to make the Scotties?
Absolutely. And especially that we're back here in Thunder Bay, it just feels special because it was my 2nd Scotties actually. So last year when it was in Calgary, I kind of had flashback of my first Scotties, and then now I'm kind of having flashback of my 2nd Scotties just because it's the same hotel, it's the same arena. So it just feels very familiar. But every Scotties is special, so I can't wait to just start.
Yeah, very cool. Before we focus on the Scotties, I kind of want to take you back to the provincial championship. Maybe give us a sense of what curling in Quebec is like and the road to the provincial championship for you guys.
Mm-hmm. So unfortunately, there is no qualifier to enter the Quebec provincials on the women's side. We had 6 teams. I was expecting actually more teams this year than last year, but it's been a few years that we don't have a lot of teams registered in. But to be honest, every year, the level of play is just going up and up and up every year. So it just feels great to have some competition there and to have great games. Especially there's some young juniors, even U8 teams that are playing in the women's provincial, and seriously, they were making a lot of shots and they gave us a go. So it was nice to see, and it was very encouraging for the future. But unfortunately, we don't have a lot of teams to compete into the provincial. So this year we were 6 teams.
All right. Now, with it being your 5th national championship, you mentioned some familiarity in Thunder Bay. Do you feel like a veteran at this point? You kind of know the lay of the land. You know what it takes throughout the week, where you have to be, and everything you have to do at this point.
I would maybe not consider myself as a veteran, because there's so many big names out there I guess, like, I just have more experience in my first year. I kinda know what to expect, but every Scotties is different, and we're just ready for anything, and it's such a great experience, and I just wanna like every other Scotties, it just feels so special, and I don't think, even, like, the veterans are getting, like, they're just used to it. I don't think so. I think every Scottie is so special and it's so different. So no, I still feel like a rookie, but I don't know. Maybe some teams or some people will say that I'm a veteran. I
Yeah,
don't know.
for sure. Well, you got some extra experience on your lineup this year. Of course, a new teammate this year has not only won it, but she's been plenty of times before. How'd you manage to get Lisa Weigel on board, and what has her addition done for the team?
Oh my God, that's so fun, like, to explain that because I never thought that I would play with her. But it's so special. Like at one point we had a meeting with Emily and Jamie, and we were looking for another player to just bring some experience to the team. And Jamie was like, "Why not just ask Lisa Weigel?" And we're kind of laughing, like, "Yeah, sure, like Lisa Weigel is gonna join the team, right?" And then we're like, "Oh, let's just take a shot at it." And she was like, "Oh, I'm gonna think about it. Like, there's mixed doubles trials that's coming, whatever." So we had like a couple of chat with her, and then she said yes. And I remember just like screaming. I was like, "Can't believe that Lisa Weigel, like, she has a shot, right? Like, her name is a famous shot." So I was like, I can't believe that she's gonna play with us. And then just to get to know her personally, outside the ring too, she's just a phenomenal person, and all the support that she brings on the team and the experience, like, it's just so cool to see. And it's so nice to see her on the ice with us, and then I can relate. And when I was watching her when I was younger perform on TV, and she pretty much like acts the same as I remember, and it's just so cool to be part of that this year.
Very cool. Was there any connection that the team had to Lisa prior to reaching out to her, and why was she the one that you guys sort of landed on?
So Jamie and her are living like in a close area, and they were practicing at the same club and whatnot. And then Jamie is a coach at Lisa's academy. So they had like a connection there, but they didn't really know each other. I think we were just taking a long shot, and sometimes like it just takes this, right? Like, you have to just try, and maybe the person's going to say yes, and that's what happened. And we're just so glad that she's on our team right now. So much experience.
I was going to say, it seems like it's been a seamless transition in terms of adding that extra experience and getting a new member of your team.
Yeah, absolutely. She fits so well into the team, and we really got to know her um, in the past, like, a few months, and it's just incredible how, like, cool she is, and she's so funny too. Like, this is like, a lot of people sometimes are like, "Oh, how is she?" And I'm like, "She is so funny." And it's just a good fit, and even on the ice, like, just to feel that she has her back, and we got her back, it just feels amazing. So yeah, it was pretty easy to just fit, but obviously, like other teams, it needs like a moment of adaptation for sure. But yeah, it was great, and it's great to work with her, especially on the ice. Like, technically, she's a good coach, so just to see, like, just to have her watch my throw and to give me advice when we practice together is just amazing.
Yeah, I was going to say, obviously you're the skip, you have to call the shots and everything, but when you have that extra experience on the ice, whether it's a game or practice, how beneficial has it been to just to have her voice? And sometimes I imagine you probably defer to her and some of the things that she has to offer.
Oh yeah, it's huge. And sometimes, it's just like to have someone that is so cool on the ice, and like, she she doesn't say too much, but when she does say something, it just means a lot. Um so that's why when she speaks on the ice, it's like, okay, we're listening what she has to say, and we're understanding what she has to say, and we're trying to discuss around that. So it feels great. And honestly, like, I have Lisa and I have Jamie who has a ton of experience, so I couldn't be like more supported on the ice. based on strategy, but also for just like mapping the ice, and just the experience of our front end right now is just incredible. Emily knows me. She's like a sister for me, and then Lisa is getting to know me more and more. So it just feels good to have that kind of experience on the ice.
For sure. You guys are obviously still looking to break through. You've been there before, but still looking for your first title. How can you take that experience and all of that over the last 5 years and bring it into this year's tournament to get over the hump?
Yeah, I think this year, like, it was great to just see how we were working towards like the same goal, and just the amount of effort that we did, especially on communication, and just like to know everyone needs. And I think that's going to make like a big change this year. And, we have a solid team. Like, I think it's going to be like just the key to make a couple of shots here and there, more than the other teams. But the level of play is just incredible. So there's not going to be an easy game at all. We're going to have to play our best game every game. But I do believe that that kind of support that Lisa brings on the front end, but also for us when sometimes we have strategy talks during a game, I do believe that it's going to make a difference. And just like the mojo that she brings to, that's what feels incredible, is that she has that energy when she goes into the ice, and it's just like, oh, okay, we got this. So I do believe that it's going to make a big difference.
Very cool. Well, best of luck at the Scotties. We'll be watching, and I'm sure you guys will have another successful tournament. I appreciate you joining the show.
Thank you so much. Finger crossed.
Take care.
Thanks. Bye, guys.
Time for a break. When we come back, we'll check in on the next generation of curling talent. Plus, we'll head south of the border for an update on their mixed doubles trials.
This is it. It all comes down to this rock. The hours in the gym, the weeks away from my family. This is what I've been training for. And all those voices trying to tear me down, I'm here to silence them. We've given everything we have for a chance to get everything we want.
The live sports experience is changing. Teams and facilities are under pressure to provide online and in-venue entertainment. IKS Live has the right team to deliver. We provide service across North America and produce the best fan experience, in the seats or streaming to you. IKS Live continues to bring you the best seat in the house.
Everything I've worked for, everything I've sacrificed, has led to this. It's out of your hands now. All the gold medals in the world can't help you now. You could throw the perfect rock and still miss, but it just takes one. You leave it all out there on the ice to leave behind a legacy.
The Scotties isn't the only national championship that's kicking off this weekend. The next generation of Canadian talent is coming together at the Nutana Curling Club in Saskatoon for the 2025 Canadian Under-18 Championships, which are set to begin on Sunday, February 16th. The draw features a whopping 42 teams, 21 male and 21 female, split into pools of 7 and representing virtually every province and territory, with the exception of Yukon on the female side. It will be wall-to-wall action all week long, with all 8 sheets at the Newtown occupied for 4 draws each day, with the playoff round starting on Thursday afternoon. The U18 National Championships were first contested in 2017, with Northern Ontario's Jacob Horgan, who now plays with John Epping, winning the inaugural boys title, and current Danielle Inglis teammate Kira Brunton capturing the girls' crown, also repping Northern Ontario. Last year's winners were Team Newfoundland and Labrador 1 on the boys' side and Team Manitoba in the girls' championship. The gold medal games this year are scheduled for Saturday, February 22nd, with the guys playing at 12:30 and the girls at 3:30. Tickets are available for all the draws, and you can catch all the action online on YouTube. It's also championship season south of the border. After wrapping up their men's and women's national championships, U.S. curlers turning their attention to the mixed doubles Olympic trials in Lafayette, Colorado, just a short drive north of downtown Denver. So call them the Mile High Trials. It's the first time they're being held outside of Minnesota, though it's only the third time they're being held overall. A total of 10 teams are set to compete for the right to represent the Stars and Stripes at next year's Olympic Winter Games in Italy. Notable pairs vying for the title include the sister-brother combo of Becca and Matt Hamilton, who were the country's first ever Olympic mixed doubles team at the Beijing Games in 2018, where they finished in 6th place. Matt also won gold in the men's event at those games. Another top contender is the two Coreys, not Feldman and Ham, but Thies and Dropkin. The 2023 world champions also represented the USA at a number of other world championships with different partners. Dropkin, of course, just captured the U.S. men's title a couple weeks ago. One more team to watch would be Aileen Geving, who was a member of Team USA's women's national team the last 2 Olympics, and 2018 gold medal winning skip John Schuster, who also won bronze at the 2019 World Mixed Doubles Championship with Corey Thies. 2021 trials champion Vicky Persinger and Chris Pleiss are not in the mix this year. The tournament kicks off on February 17th with the semifinal and 3-game final scheduled for February 22nd and 23rd. The winner will earn the right to represent the United States at both the next year's Olympic Games and this year's World Mixed Doubles Championship in Fredericton, New Brunswick, which takes place in late April and early May. And just like that, we have run out of time this week. Thanks again to Laurie St-Georges for sharing some of her time with us tonight. Remember to follow us on Facebook, X, and Instagram, and subscribe to our YouTube channel to keep up with all the latest news. You can also find every episode of the show on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Our next episode comes your way February 21st. Until then, thanks for watching, and good curling.